Is there evidence for the Tower of Babel story from the Bible? Here's what the consensus in linguistics tells us. If you don't remember the Tower of Babel story, it's from the Old Testament and the Bible, and basically a bunch of people build a giant tower and then God punishes them for their pride and makes them speak a bunch of different languages. So everybody used to speak one language, and then we have a bunch of different languages today because of the Tower of Babel. Many Christians view the story as an allegory and don't see it as an actual historical event, but there are some who do and comment on my videos. One thing to clarify first is that languages change over time. So for instance, I don't speak like Shakespeare, and Shakespeare didn't speak like Chaucer, and Chaucer didn't speak like the Anglo-Saxons. So if languages are always changing, then what happens if you take two groups of people that speak the same language and then separate them? Their speech will change, but they won't be able to share those changes with each other, so eventually they'll be speaking two different languages. And this has happened hundreds of times in recorded history. So like Spanish and French used to be one language, Latin, but we have documents that show the transition into the different languages. So we don't need the Tower of Babel story to explain linguistic diversity today. But could it have happened and then those root languages split off into different languages? Well, technically there's no way to say that that didn't happen, but there's one problem. The Tower of Babel story is set in a historical place called Shinar in Lower Mesopotamia. And there's never been a time in history where the entire human race was located in that spot. So if the story happened at Shinar, there was people in other places that were already speaking different languages. Because again, isolated groups eventually speak different languages. But maybe the Shinar people were the first to have language at all, and then it split into different languages and spread to everybody else. But we have evidence that the human brain and vocal tract had already evolved for language tens of thousands of years before people ever even got to Mesopotamia. So people were almost certainly already speaking different languages wherever they went before the setting of the story could have even happened.